Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. I just received a package from Lifeway with Connecting Scripture New Testament, a study Bible of biblical allusions and quotations. And they sent it to me in hardcover, brown Leathertouch, black genuine leather, and slate Leathertouch. So we're going to look at each of those, but first let's take a look at what we have here. On the back it says cross-reference system with Old Testament quotations, color-coded text designed to help quickly identify cross-reference types, study note commentary explaining the connections between the Old and New Testament, articles, biblical theology, durable Smyth-sewn lay flat binding, single column text, topical subheadings, 9.25 point type size, black letter, 2 ribbon markers, presentation page, 6.6 by 9.125 page size, and that's the trim size, so it's going to be slightly larger than that, but it feels light. I like a hardcover, so I like the feel of this. It has a dust jacket, which I'm not really fond of dust jackets, but it looks good underneath, so that looks good. So let's see, we have a green paste down liner, thick end sheet for the presentation page. Paper could be a little bit more opaque. Has a slightly rough feel to it. This looks and feels like the paper that's used in a lot of their study Bibles. Printed in China. There's the information on it. So basically a study Bible, but just the New Testament portion. There's the introduction to this. Let's see. Connecting Scripture. Here's what the text looks like real fast. So it looks like a study Bible with, has green. I suspect that it's different colors throughout. Nope, just green. Okay, so we have a single column with 4 columns of notes at the bottom with references in the outer margin and then a little bit of space left over. So that's the basics of what the layout looks like. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to have to read through the table, through the introduction in the front. Introducing the CSB Connecting Scripture New Testament. So it's going to give us the definitions, quotation, allusion, parallel, and then language. Old Testament written in Hebrew, New Testament in Greek. Frequency, recognition, apostolic hermeneutics, and then verbal fulfillment, indirect or typological fulfillment, analogy, abiding authority, symbol, prototype, irony, notes on the CSB cross references. So I'll go through there and figure out where all this is from. So different types of text here. We have Old Testament quotations found in the New Testament are color-coded in blue. Old Testament allusions are color-coded in green. Study note commentary explaining the connections between the Old and New Testaments. That's this. Then we have book introductions, including the summary of each book's use of the Old Testament. That's interesting. Articles to further highlight and unpack recurring theological themes found between the books. Biblical theology-focused charts to aid in detailed study. I would guess this paper to be around 30 GSM, but that's just a guess. It could be wrong. Introduction to the CSB, and then the New Testament. Okay, so here's the introduction, a single page, author, message and purpose, summary of the Old Testament in Matthew. So that'll be interesting. And then here we go with the text. So a lot of green here, a little bit of blue, and then I'm sure that's going to give us the references. I'm not seeing footnotes. Okay, here are the footnotes. So the footnotes are in the outer margin, in the last column, in that column of the text, but above the commentary. It looks clean, even though there's a lot here. It does look clean. The single column looks good. Hearing the Old Testament in the Gospels. That's an interesting chart. So Old Testament and then Gospel. So it gives us God promised and then Jesus. Seed of Abraham, son of Abraham, the seed. So that's interesting. It's going to be some good prophecies there to go through. The typeface looks nice. It's dark enough. I kind of find the green a little bit difficult to spot, but just at a glance. I am wearing my glasses and I'm stepped back from it. So if I pulled it up closer to me, it'd be a little bit easier to see. Yeah, I would like to see the green a little bolder maybe. The blue looks good. The blue stands out easy. Now, the green could be a touch bolder. I wouldn't mind if the paper is a little bit more opaque also. That holds open well. It's light. Stays open perfectly. Stays open perfectly to any page. I like that. And here our ribbons are green and blue. That looks good. So I'd have to read through the commentary and all this to get more information. I don't know if this is... I think this is not from one of their study Bibles. This is a new study Bible. So there's one of the articles, Resurrection. So we should see quite a few articles throughout. Creation and New Creation. People of God chart. So quite a bit here. Mystery. So I'll spend some time with this. They did send this in exchange for an honest review. So I'll spend some time with it and read through this and do the written review at BibleBuyingGuide.com. This will just be the first look video, which is easier for me to create. Paper's easy to turn. Easy to separate. I'm not having any trouble there. I just wish it was a little bit more opaque, but it's fine. Everything has to match the price point, basically. It does look to be line matched, except for the notes. You know, it's a different size font, so that can't be line matched when you have more notes on the page on one page than the other. It's just the way that's going to be. Let's go back and look again at the black letter. I don't see the words of Jesus in any different formats. I'm not seeing a bold or anything like that, except for the section headings, which also include references. And then back here, looks like we have some material in the back. Old Testament index. So Old Testament quotes and allusions to the New Testament. Backwards. New Testament quotes and allusions to the Old Testament appear below and follow the order of the Old Testament. So it's also color-coded, so you can tell green or blue, and you can tell if it's an allusion or an actual quote. Allusions are in green, quotes are in bold blue. So that's good. That's a good index. Testament index. So there's the New Testament. So they have it for the Old and the New Testament. Old Testament quotes and allusions in the New Testament. Quotes are in bold blue. Allusions are in green. That's handy. And then several pages for notes. Or just leftover. Contributors. There's the list of contributors. Interesting. And then another thick end sheet. So there's another list of the features that we see on the back. That looks good. I like the look of that. So we also have brown Leathertouch, brown Leathertouch, and this one comes in a slip case. That looks good. That's a good looking imitation leather. I like that variation in color, variation in texture. That looks good. So this one is going to be a little bit more difficult to stay open. That's why I like hardcover. Hardcover stays open perfectly. I don't need it to be flexible so much. I would rather just have the hardcover and it stay open. That's what I'm talking about. I like hardcover. I think hardcover is underrated. But this one has the gold edges, while the hardcover is white edges. And it looks like a red and a black ribbon. Other than that, the paper seems to be the same. Maybe. This might be a little smoother, actually. You see. Nah, it's the same paper. So black ribbon and a red ribbon. I love that red. That's pretty. So there's the brown Leathertouch. And here is the slate Leathertouch. It's also in a slip case. That's a thick slip case. That's good thick material right there. I don't want to come out. Oh, that looks good. It's a little bit blue. Looks like goat skin. Like a natural skin. It looks natural. That looks good. And then blue for the liner. Same paper. And then blue ribbon. And a green ribbon. I didn't look at the ribbon on this one. The other, I think it's black, but I didn't confirm that. Let me confirm that real fast. That is, yeah, it's black. So there's those two. And then finally, we have black genuine leather. And this one is in a 2-piece box. That's thin. See how thin that is. If I can remember how to use a ruler. Let's see, we have, it's easier to do it this way. 5/8. I have to count. I'm slow. I'm sorry. So that's a genuine leather, really pebbly, deep green. And this one has perimeter stitching, and it also has red and black ribbons. Let's get these out of the way. Stays open the same as the others, I think. Maybe not as stiff as the others, but still stiff. So all these are going to take a little bit of use to be able to hold them open. I'm not sure why they just did the New Testament. They have a lot of Old Testament references and notes in here, but only the New Testament. I think I would like to have just had the whole thing, because I still see the Old Testament as necessary. Because without the Old Testament, we don't understand the New Testament. The Old Testament sets up the need of salvation. But that looks good. I like that. So these do look interesting. I'll place links in the notes in case you're interested in making a purchase. And then also I will spend some time with this and come back with the full written review at BibleBuyingGuide.com. And my thanks to Lifeway for sending these in exchange for an honest review. Thanks.